Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to cut and sew a simple center front pleated placket neckline blouse. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothing Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! These are all the pattern pieces needed to make the blouse. I drafted these patterns in a previous tutorial. The link to the pattern drafting tutorial will be above and in the description box below. I will go ahead and cut out these pattern pieces on my fabric. This is the front piece. I have pinned it to the fabric and the fabric has already been folded into 2 layers. I used half an inch seam allowance at the shoulders and the armhole curve, 1 inch seam allowance at the side seam and also at the hem, 1/4 inch seam allowance at the front neckline curve, and it goes into knotting at the end of the original front neck depth. I did not add any seam allowance to this area where the placket will be fixed. The front piece will be cut on fold. I will cut it out. This is the back piece which I have already pinned to my fabric. It will be cut on fold. The fabric has already been folded into 2. I used half an inch seam allowance at the shoulders, half inch seam allowance around the armhole curve, 1 inch seam allowance at the side seam and the hem, 1/4 inch seam allowance at the neckline. I will cut it out. This is the sleeve pattern which I have already pinned to my fabric. The fabric has already been folded into 2 layers. I used half an inch seam allowance all around the sleeve pattern except at the side seams where I used 1 inch seam allowance. I will cut it out. I will notch the middle of the sleeve edge. I will also notch the front and the back of the sleeve. This is the band which I have already pinned to my fabric. The fabric has already been folded into 4 layers. The lower part of the band will be cut on fold, so the lower part of the fabric is on fold. I used 1 inch seam allowance at the side seams and half an inch seam allowance at the upper part. I will cut it out. I will notch the middle of the band. I will also notch the middle of the sleeve at the hem. These are the 2 sleeve band pieces. I have already fused interfacing to the wrong sides of the 2 band pieces. These 2 pieces are the plackets that I will fix at the neckline of the blouse. I have already fused interfacing to the wrong sides of the 2 placket pieces. The 2 placket pieces are 3 inches wide and 10 inches long. This is the front piece. I will remove the pattern from the fabric like this. I will open up the front piece. Can you see the horizontal cut at the middle section of the front piece? This is what will be pleated. I will divide it into 3 equal sections like this. I will fold over this end on the right like this till it touches the first division point. I will pin it in place. Then I will fold over this end on the left such that it completely overlaps the first pleat, and it is exactly at that point where the first pleat started from. I will pin it in place. This is what it looks like on the wrong side. I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch down the pleat horizontally about 2 to 3 times so as to secure the pleat firmly in place. So now that has been done, as you can see, I have measured the length of the front neckline curve. So I will mark the exact point where the front neckline ended before the placket opening begins. This is the point where the placket will end at the center front. I will now place a placket piece along one of the sides of the V-cut opening below the front neckline depth. I will align the open edges of the placket with the edge of the opening below the front neckline curve. I will pin it in place. I will mark out a ½ inch seam allowance from the edge of the placket. I will also mark the start point of the sewing and also the end point, but the sewing will end ½ an inch below the above end point. I will also mark this ½ inch point. I will repeat exactly the same thing on this other side as well. I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it in place using ½ an inch sewing allowance. I will move the pins out of the way so that it does not obstruct the sewing of the plackets. I will sew from this point to this point on the 2 sides. I will sew the 2 placket pieces in place following the guidelines that I've already drawn on the fabric. I have clearly marked the start and the end points of the sewing, so this should be my guide when sewing. The width in between the 2 seam lines at this end should be about 1 inch wide, so that I will not have any issues when overlapping the 2 placket pieces. So now I have sewn the 2 placket pieces in place. As you can see, I will turn it to the wrong side. I will confirm once again that what I have here, this lower part is 1 inch. If it is smaller or bigger than 1 inch, this will give me issues later. So now is the right time to rectify it if it is smaller or bigger than 1 inch. I will mark out the middle point at the original end point. Remember that I stitched ½ an inch below the original end point. I will now draw an upward facing V from this middle point to the end point of the stitching. I will now snip into the corners following this upward facing V that I drew on the fabric. I will cut only the main fabric. I won't cut the placket pieces underneath. I will now turn it to the right side. I will push the ends of the placket pieces to the wrong side like this. You can either overlap the left placket piece over the right one, or vice versa. Although for a female blouse, right over left is preferable. I will flip it over to the wrong side so that I can see this triangular piece on the wrong side. I will arrange the two placket pieces and the triangular piece together like this. I will secure the three pieces together with a pin like this. I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it in place. First, I will change my regular machine foot into a zipper foot. This will allow me to sew close to the edge of the triangular piece. I will go ahead and do the stitching now. Next, I will curve the upper part of the two placket pieces using my French curve like this. I will pin the two front necklines together and I will trim it off. I will also reduce the length of the excess placket at the lower part. This is the back piece. I will remove the pattern from the fabric. I will place the back piece on top of the front piece like this, right side to right side. I will pin the shoulders in place. After pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch the shoulders in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I have done the stitching as you can see and I have overlocked the raw edges. I will even out the neckline curve and make sure that the neckline goes smoothly into the placket. I will pin the two front necklines together. I will trim off the excess fabric. I will now go ahead and use this bias tape to finish the neckline of the blouse. So now that has been done, as you can see, I have given the neckline and the placket area a thorough press with my pressing iron. I will turn the blouse to the wrong side like this. I have overlocked the raw edges at the placket area. With the right sides together, I will go ahead and sew the side seams using 1 inch sewing allowance. I will also hem the lower part of the blouse. So now that has been done, as you can see, I have sewn the side seams of the blouse together and I have also hemmed the lower part of the blouse. I have given the entire blouse a thorough press with my iron. These are the two sleeve pieces and the bands. I will remove the pattern from the fabric. I will place the two band pieces on top of the two sleeve pieces like this, right side to right side. I will align the open edges of the band with the ends of the sleeve like this. I will stitch it in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, I have also overlocked the raw edges. I will now fold the two sleeve pieces into two like this, such that right sides are together. I will sew the side seams in place using 1-inch sewing allowance. So now the sewing has been done, as you can see, and I've given the 2 sleeve pieces a thorough press with my pressing iron. This is the main blouse piece. I will now go ahead and fix the sleeves to the armholes of the blouse using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now I have gone ahead to fix the sleeves to the armholes of the blouse. As you can see, I have given the entire blouse a thorough press with my iron. I will use a needle and a thread to fix these 2 buttons to the placket area of the blouse. The buttons are just for decorative purpose. So that's it guys, we are done, and this is the final look of the simple center front pleated neckline blouse. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.